All of a sudden, the PNM, the plot thickens. Remember, Rowley get an honorary doctorate from Howard University. Remember this? And I say, but what I mean, if Howard want to give him an honorary doctorate because he's our prime minister, I will do that. But the man next to him, Dr. Wayne Frederick, a Trini, he made a speech and he talked a set of nonsense like he didn't know anything about Trinidad and Tobago. But I don't know which way I should do it, you know. Should I? Let me remind you all first of what Dr. Frederick said, because it looked like Rowley bringing he back into the PNM to lead the PNM or to do something. And he come down to open my library and he and the wife give $1 million to the Ministry of Education. Really? How you do that? Who you paying that to? Where you paying it to? Where's the donation? Who say we Ministry of Education need $1 million when the budget is $6 billion? Why they need $1 million from you? If everything was so good and Rowley was so great, Dr. Frederick, don't come and make yourself an imbecile here in Trinidad and Tobago, you know, like you're outside too long and the Yankee visa sinking and soaking into your brain. If you don't know what you don't know, well, hush your mouth, because I respect you for being Howard. You're very good, excellent, brilliant, intelligent. But don't come and tell people who live in here lies about a man who you big up there, and now you're coming here and say, let me remind you, Dr. Wayne Frederick, of what you said when you were giving Rowley an honorary doctorate. Run it. Howard University, one of the greatest institutions in the world. Howard University has come from the struggle of black people in the USA against the Jim Crow, against the racist agenda of politics of Anglo-Saxon people. Howard University was an institution that came up in the struggle. Howard University is the institution of Lincoln Tiger Phillips winning 2 national championships in football, as they called it back then, in 1970, 71, 72. Soccer, where an all-black team made up of Caribbean nationals headed by Bain from Trinidad won the NCAA title and catapulted black people into a position of prominence in a racist USA society back in the 60s, 70s, and onwards. Howard University has produced some of the greatest CEOs, even down here in Trinidad and Tobago. We have Camille Richards Chatur, who is a graduate of Howard, and many others, Shaka Hislop, Kona Hislop, the list goes on and on. And Howard University was brought up in the struggle with no resources, with discrimination. They took away one title from the soccer team over spurious reasons. Discrimination, lack of resources, lack of accreditation, pressure from the status quo. So Howard University is an institution that I have a lot of respect for. And understand this, if Howard University or Mr. Frederick would like to give Rowley, because he's the Prime Minister of Trinidad and he's from Trinidad, an honorary doctorate, so be it. So be it, that's your choice. But Mr. Frederick, don't come and lie to me. Don't lie to the population. Don't create a false narrative. Don't make statements that are not based on fact. Keith Rowley is not the first Tobagonian to be Prime Minister. That was A.N.R. Robinson, 1986 December, from Tobago. Go and check it. What are you doing making a speech at Howard University that is fraught with falsehoods? Let me just say, Archie, play the speech. You see, I don't mind if you give him an honorary, he's the Prime Minister, I want to give him something because he give you order of the Republic of Trinidad, no problem. But do not tell lies. And I'm going to show you, sir. And if you are man enough, you will correct the record on each and every element. Run it, Archie.
The Republic of Trinidad and Tobago has experienced welcome growth. Government policies implemented to promote diversification, investments, and tax incentives for small business have increased the rate of economic growth. Energy reforms are also at the heart of your goals. The National Gas Master Plan promotes renewable energy sources to lessen the country's dependence on fossil fuels and encourages private investment to explore new gas and oil resources. During your tenure, quality education has also been a strong priority with increased school funding as well as more opportunities for vocational training. Under the School Improvement Project, you renovated and upgraded facilities nationwide. Likewise, the number of community centers has expanded with a number of projects within the Digger Martin community you represent. And such centers are crucial to the lifeblood of the citizens, with more than 40 open throughout the country since your first term in office. Infrastructure and healthcare have been central to the well-being of your constituents, with improved roads, better access to transportation, upgraded water and sewage systems, and expanded medical care. Your exemplary handling of the COVID-19 pandemic has been heralded for saving lives and lessening the overall spread as much as possible thanks to your quick and incisive actions.
Even Rowley, the pathological liar, that was even too much for him to stomach. Yes, see Rowley face, Mr. Frederick, sir. The energy sector has never been at a... Let me read, because clearly something is awry, something is about, because the Guardian finds an entire 2-page spread on Frederick. He down in Trinidad. He going to open my library. He give the government $1 million. He walking wrong with Rowley. But hear this now, Frederick. We just listened to you say how brilliant that clown was in education and how he invested in education, and the education system was so well you gave him an honorary doctorate because under his tenure there was more opportunities in education and tech work. That's what you read in your bloody prompter in Howard University, giving this clown an honorary doctorate. Well, let me read you now, because one thing the Douglas do, the Douglas read and remember. So let's read you now, Dr. PNM Frederick. TNT's education system needs more investment and accountability. But you didn't say that then. It was brilliant. It was amazing. Rowley had done so much that you gave him an honorary doctorate. And all you saw Felicia Rashad come down here just like, she just come down. She was on the board with this clown at Howard University. Okay? So all of that was PNM machinations to bring he to do something. So whether it's all your leader PNM or Gadsby Dolly, whether it's Minister of Education, because he need a work in June. So all you understand, the Douglas seeing it, but you see, you fit into the PNM, Dr. Frederick, because you said Rowley was brilliant. Education system, he provided improvements across the board for our nation children. Even though I just went through the whole list, he cut everything, and education went down to the lowest ebb that we've been in history. All right? But listen to Dr. Frederick, the same Dr. Frederick. What do you make of the education system in TNT? Where you left it to where you see it right now. Well, let's listen to Dr. Howard, Dr. Frederick. When I left it, I thought it was a world-class system. I was able to compete with anyone on any level. I became a cancer surgeon. I still think that the main ingredients for that are there, but it certainly needs more investment and more attention and more accountability in the system. But you can't do that without resources. And that's the biggest gap that I see. That's the biggest gap. You just gave Rowley an honorary doctorate because you said he increased resources and he was giving it. When I telling you, Mr. Frederick, Fazal Karim and Kamla Prasad Bisesa gave resources. For example, tuition in tech work and education enrollment, 59,000 students per year, $726 million in 2014. Rowley has now cut that down to $285 million per year. Children move down, those who cannot, their medical students cannot get data and so on, from 58,000 down to 28,000. The gap in resources is Rowley. Rowley closed down the THTTI. You don't even know what that is, Mr. Yankee. You're gone away so long. Well, I wouldn't even tell you. Go and research what's THTTI. Go and show and research how many MIC centers built and opened by Fazal Karim that Rowley shut down. How many NESC centers. You don't even know what these are. I'm not going to help you. Go and read, because you went and read off the prompter brilliantly. You lie so much, Rowley couldn't take it. Rowley nearly passed out there because he couldn't believe the amount of lie you was reading out. Me, I know who write that for you. But now you come to say that there are no resources, and you come to give me a measly $1 million. Boy, keep your stinking $1 million, boy. It's $6 billion of taxpayers' money that Gadsby Dolly and the PNM have for education, and Rowley has done nothing. Here, the schools are rotting it, the schools infested, the teachers disrespected, the equipment dilapidated, our children fighting knife and stab and kick and break neck. That's what we are. That's where we live. So don't come with your Howard mouth and come and talk here Yankee stupidness for me, boy. He continued, this clown, Frederick, some of them are probably nutritionally deficient, not getting access to great meals every single day. I thought you give the man an honorary doctorate. We have school feeding programs since Dr. Williams, yes, he's a PNM, but I give Jack the jacket and Jim the gym boots. Dr. Williams created the school feeding program in 1981, and over 51,000 meals were given to students. Nutrition every day. Tim Gopi Singh, UNC, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, 2010 May onwards to September 2015, increased school feeding, Dr. Frederick, to 76,000 breakfasts and 76,000 lunches to ensure our children's belly was full. The man you handed an honorary doctorate and you gushed as you licked his K-Pax, cut that down from 76,000, sir, down to 48,000 before COVID. And during COVID, he sent the children home to fend for themselves. No laptop and no food. That bastard cut food down to 28,000 meals. Dr. Frederick, you want to take back your flipping honorary doctorate? Because which one? Either you was lying then or you're lying now, because you're talking about our children being nutritionally deficient. Because look the cook here, look the chef, look the resource man who cut resources to our children. So you coming now to fix the education system that Rowley decimated, but you hand him an honorary doctorate? Sir, shame on you. He continued, they're not getting access to great meals every single day. Are you saying the societal issues that TNT faces are corroding the school system? Here, Dr. Frederick, it certainly is. You can't avoid it. Crime is significant. Crime is significant? Really? Do you know crime has escalated since September 2015 when your honorary doctorate man swore in to be the Prime Minister? Do you know the murder rate has continuously increased, breaking record after record? When his small pin who accompanied him there for you to massage his K-Pax, when he was Minister of National Security in 2018-2019, there were 519 murders. That was the second highest in history. Then the next year was 539. That's the second highest in history. The highest was 2008, 550 murders, Dr. Frederick. But do you know when Trinidad and Tobago had its most murderous, crime-ridden year? 2022. When this honorary Howard doctorate that you handed out was the Prime Minister, 614 murders. And then the year after, 579 murders. And now Trinidad and Tobago is awash with blood, criminality, guns, killing, rapes, all sorts of things. No border protection, no police. He changed the police commissioner, not on merit. He chose his own. But you gave him an honorary doctorate for that, for influencing all independent institutions. Dr. Frederick, you want to go back, Howard? Go back Washington, boy. Don't come here, nah, because you're able. He continued, he said, and the most important, when you take away hope, when you take away the anticipation of tomorrow, you really take away a lot from a child. Well, that's what your boy has done. He's taken away hope from every child in Trinidad and Tobago, especially those at the lowest rung. Every constituency that is his stronghold had the highest murder rate, the highest crime rate, the highest school dropout rate, the highest failure rate, the lowest performance, the highest unemployment rate. All his stronghold constituencies. You're talking about you from Diego Martin. Diego Martin is in the worst shape it has ever been in. And they have him and his Dwayne acting prime minister too. And our next clown there who nobody knows. But Dr. Frederick continued, what do we need to focus on to meet the demands of school, says Dr. Frederick, who was just espousing the virtues and the brilliance of Rowley, reading something that Smallpin probably wrote. I think we need a national plan. So, the man is prime minister 8 years, 8.5 years, going on 9 years. You give him an honorary doctorate a few months ago, 6 months ago. He had been prime minister for 8 full years. And you're saying we need a national plan now in 2024, which means he had no plan. But you gave a man with no plan an honorary doctorate and said he was so brilliant and amazing in providing good educational opportunities and investment for our nation's youth in academia and in tech voc. That's what you read, Dr. Wayne Frederick. You want to apologize? You want to change? You want to go back and listen to your speech? Because you're contradicting yourself. So the man has no plan. We need a plan. But he, man, is the man in charge without the plan. Dr. Wayne Frederick continued. Today, all those types of constructs in our cultural transformation have been eroded. We have to invest. We have to be very, very clear about what we're investing in. And this is not just about books. It's about infrastructure. It's about teacher development. Infrastructure. Tim Gopi Singh, Kamala Prasad Bisesa, 106 schools. Rowley, 8 years, 5 schools finished. 30 schools dilapidated and vandalized. Nothing built, no new schools constructed from the start. Infrastructure, all the sports stadium, everything dilapidated. Manny Ramjong shut down. The Atto Boulder, only one side working. Hazy Crawford Stadium, fans had to get turned back because they don't have turnstiles on the other side. Mr. Wayne Frederick, infrastructure, investment, he cut GATE, he cut UTT funding, he cut COSTAT funding, he cut NESC, he cut MIC, he closed down THTTI, he closed down TechBox, he closed down certification, cut funding to YTEP, cut funding to MyLab, cut funding to PAN in schools, cut funding to sport. What are you saying, Mr. Dr. Wayne Frederick? When you don't know, you either whistle or you shut up because you might be book bright. But your common sense dotish, and you didn't read, you didn't research, you're lazy, and you misspoke, and you contradict yourself, and you make yourself look like a total clown. He continued, this is the same man, you know, and after I finish this, Archie, I feel you had a playback what he say about Rowley, you know, right? It's about teacher development. Daddy man who said teachers are getting nothing. 0001, 010001 over a 8-year period for teachers. No back pay, no increase. Inflation, the money, the purchasing power parity gone. The $100 that was 2015 is now about $76. You're talking about teacher respect. They don't even discuss with tutor. They've done nothing. They've enhanced nothing. Teachers are at their lowest ebb, demotivated, unappreciated, and underpaid by the man you gave an honorary doctorate, Dr. Wayne Frederick. The fourth and last one is that we have to have a direction. We have to have a North Star as to what it is we're trying to achieve. And you have to have the data to correct that. We have all the data that show we're going down, we're going south. The PNM don't have a North Star, it have a South Star, and that's the man you give an honorary doctorate to. You now criticizing everything about him, showing that he is a complete and total failure, but you were espousing the virtues of Rowley. I ain't done with you yet, I go take my time. Teachers also need to be compensated very differently. Yes, we can't necessarily pay teachers more in terms of cash. How you know that? We could. Kamla did it. Tim Gopi Singh did it. Fazal Karim did it. With less money than Rowley. Rowley spent $500 trillion in 8 years. But not for labor. Rowley disrespects the people, disrespects labor, does not respect teachers. You come to say what? You respect teachers? So why you gave him an honorary doctorate? Because he is the antithesis of you. But anyway, you need a work after June end. Eh? That is what it is. That is the ploy. Okay, brother. Yes, we can't necessarily pay teachers more in terms of cash, but we have to create national programs that help them with housing, help them with getting a car, help them with other things that otherwise they will not have the resources to do, so that teaching becomes more of an attractive profession. It's best you cuss Rowley. It's best you cuss Rowley and vote Kamla. It's best you come tomorrow and say, listen, mea culpa. Vote UNC. Vote Kamla. Because I've just read, I've now seen the cabinet notes. I now understand how much emphasis was put on education in the vein that I believe it should be by Kamla Persad-Bissessar, Fazal Karim, and Tim Gopi Singh between the years of 2010 to 2015. I now realize that Keith Rowley doesn't give a damn about education and the future generations. That our education system is at the lowest. SCA and primary schools are performing at the worst in history. Cape and CSEC, we've been surpassed by other Caribbean neighbors. We do not top the world anymore. We're suffering from brain drain. Our teachers are disrespected. They have the Minister of Finance treats them with scant courtesy. No discussion with tutor. The Minister of Education is useless. Brother man, you now reach, you jump in because you want to walk. This walk is about reality. It's about facts. It's about people, son. You don't go and give an Obia man, evil Obia man, an honorary doctorate fraught with lies. Like I said, if you want to give him an honorary doctorate because he's from Trinidad and Tobago and he's the Prime Minister, I have no argument with that.
Is implemented to promote diversification.
I'm coming back to him just now. We're going to listen to him just now. I ain't done with it yet. What about the disparity in education in TNT? It's real and it's significant. I went to see Cedros Government Secondary School and I went to Point Fortin. And when I see what those students don't have, it's sad. You went to Cedros? You went to Point Fortin? Do you know those are constituencies held by the PNM? Strongholds of the PNM, support the PNM. You weren't impressed, but you gave the leader of the PNM, the Prime Minister for 8 years, who has created that situation of devastation in Cedros and Point Fortin that made you feel sad. It's Rowley that has you feeling sad, but you hug him up because you want a PNM walk. You see, you're starting off. Are you really that dishonest, sir? Really? Continued. On the other side of it is that we have to create more jobs for those specialized. Boy, just say vote Kamla. Kamla. Call Kamla. You come and form an alliance with Kamla. Go and meet with Kamla. Say, Kamla girl, come and now understand. I was outside. I didn't know. I was focused on other things. I didn't read. I didn't research. I'm sorry. Kamla created 55,000 jobs, son. Okay? All sorts. Right now under Rowley, over 123,000 workers have come off the NIS rolls. 6,000 small and micro enterprises have closed down. Petrotrin Refinery, which had 5,300 permanent workers and 6,100 temporary workers, shut down. Point Lisas, 11 companies employing an average of 400 to 500 workers, shut down. Across the board, fence-line communities, businesses, restaurants, nail techs, and so on. Overall devastation, no diversification. Tourism in Tobago, breakdown of the sea bridge, devastated under Rowley 2016 to 2019. No jobs, children with degrees and those who are experienced, no work for them. You now come in to say we have to create, but you gave him an honorary doctorate for failing, for creating the highest unemployment in the history of Trinidad and Tobago, but they come to lie with CSO statistics to say we at full employment. You cannot go to the University of the West Indies and get an engineering degree and then on the other side of that not be able to get a job. Well, that's what exists under Keith Rowley. Everything you have spoken about here, sir, everything you dream about, everything you suggest was in place and improving under Kamla Persad Bissessa, Fazal Karim, and Tim Gopi Singh and the United National Congress government. And everything you dream about, all your solutions, Rowley goes obliquely opposite to that. He starved these children and cut their funding for food. He cut sport, he cut PAN, he cut culture, he cut salaries, he increased inflation. People's salaries are no increase. He disrespect labor, he disrespect teachers. No housing, no car loan, no nothing for teachers. He disrespects all labor, he disrespects police, army, firemen. That's Rowley. He decimated the job market. We have a foreign exchange crisis. The energy sector is in crisis. He put all his eggs in one basket of dragon gas, and that dragon gas going to flush now because July 28th, Venezuela call election, Maduro, but the leader of the opposition who won 92% of the vote is locked up and cannot participate. Sanctions are coming back on Maduro. Rowley put all of our children's hopes and future in dragon gas, and the dragon will not dance because Maduro will not live up to democratic principles. The man who Rowley ridiculed while he attacked a former prime minister, a CARICOM brother, to call him the tropical Trump in a conversation with a dunce last night, that Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden by 5 percentage points nationally. And Joe Biden look like he can't walk up 2 flights of stairs. So it looks like your boy has attacked the president, the future president of the United States. That's who you are supporting, a disrespectful miscreant who worked OB on a former prime minister, who you gave an honorary doctorate to, and now you come and you criticize everything. He has no plan. Education is at the lowest in our history. Our children are failing. Our children are dying. Our children have no opportunity. Our athletes are suffering. They cannot get the facilities. There's no investment, no resources. And you come to give $1 million TT to whom? For what? You're a disrespectful human being. Don't come here with your Yankee attitude to come and pay. Oh, you give $1 million? Boy, take your $1 million and go and spend it in KFC, boy. Move in now.